What is going on, guys? Welcome to FTL Podcast, episode number 2. We have Pete James over here, Anthony Pants, and myself, Billy Perry. We have a specific topic we want to talk about tonight.
That's kind of loud.
Our beverage of the evening, Blue Point Optical Illusion. It's an East Coast IPA. Honestly, not my favorite that we've had out of the two so far.
I'm not crazy about IPAs, but this one honestly is really good.
It's pretty fire.
It's all right.
Yeah.
But
don't plug them too hard.
You guys did okay.
So this is another night podcast, so we went with a beer instead of a coffee, but soon kombucha and coffee as well coming in.
Oh yeah, big kombucha bucks.
Once we get on schedule. But today we want to talk a little bit about being a sponsored athlete. Doesn't not necessarily like a BMX rider, but just an athlete or being sponsored by a company, how to get there.
And what comes with it.
And how we got there, or our story of getting there. So
why don't you tell yours first?
I guess I'll start off. We're
doing it live!
Well.
All right. Well,
so who's your first hookup? Let's say that.
I had a first hookup from like a t-shirt brand on Long Island. I never actually met them, but I got like a shirt or two from them, and I thought that was pretty sick. I was 11 years old, and I thought that was badass.
How'd you source that one out?
I think, I don't know. They just seen my MySpace or something like way back in the day, and they're like, yo, you want a shirt? And I'm like, sick. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm on Division brand, whatever it was at the time.
Isn't that a BMX brand?
It was in the Australian.
What
or
was
whatever.
that website where like you could like pretend you were sponsored? Remember
Hook It.
Hook It? No,
Yeah.
I remember like everyone in 6th grade was sponsored by Osiris supposedly.
Yeah, you get like a 30% discount.
Yeah,
Yep.
some shit like
Everyone was
that.
sponsored.
Yeah, that was fucking genius for the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I remember.
I think that's still a thing, to be honest.
You
But
go on there and like I don't think it was called Hooked It.
No, he's right. It was Hook
Hook
It,
It.
because I remember they would sponsor like the Incline Club skate park events, like the Monster Army. You would go to hookit.com.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about even earlier than that though.
Yeah.
What was your first hookup?
Realistically, probably Colt.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe I was getting like a few T-shirts or something from some brand that Zach got all of us into.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I think it was like Collective or something. I don't know. Zach met some dude at like 29th Street Ledges, and then he got a bunch of us like T-shirts and stuff. But other than that, I think it was like Colt was like
the fuck is Zach who? Am I missing?
Zach Marin.
Oh, I don't really know him.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out you, Zach Marin.
He was like our filmer at the time, and he just met some dude at the spot, and dude was stoked on BMX, and he gave a bunch of riders T-shirts.
I remember that.
That's cool. What would you say some dilemmas are? Like what are the negatives?
Should we explain our stories?
Well, I mean, what are some of the negatives of being hooked up? And then you can explain the stories. I'm just saying.
Well, I think we're going to touch base on what comes along with it after.
True.
I mean, we didn't really explain the whole process of like what we...
You didn't even explain your story
yet.
we
didn't even get into it.
I'm moving way too fast.
You're moving too fast. Slow it down, Pete.
I'm sorry. I'm on.
We didn't even get to the policy. He's like, what are the negatives? I want to hear all the shitty
I'm
stuff.
on 7 Adderalls. And I drank 2 gallons of kombucha tea.
Yeah, that'll do it.
In my ass.
All right. So
Doing it live!
I guess my first real hookup was Volume Bikes, I want to say, and I'm still with them to this day. Kenny Hirsch, shout out to Kenny Hirsch, Long Island Bike Shop at the time. He moved out to California.
Kenny Hirsch is the GOAT, bro.
Kenny Hirsch is the GOAT. Kenny Hirsch, shout out to that man.
Shout out Kenny Hirsch.
Great man, great guy, Kenny Hirsch. He moved out to California with Russ Barone, and he was going to be working at 180 Distribution, which is Volume Bikes, Demolition Parts, and some other fixie company at the time. And I think him and Chris Long got to pick one rider each to be on the new grassroots program. So Chris Long picked...
Volume, right? For Volume?
Yeah, for Volume. Not Demolition, but for Volume. Chris Long from Massachusetts picked Matt Ray to be on the team. And Chris
Long? No jumper,
Chris Long, no jumper, yeah. I knew Chris Long for a long time.
He was working for...
He
was
edited
working for
my
Volume,
first.
right?
He edited my first Volume video.
Now, is that Matty Long? Is that Matty
Matty
Long?
Long's brother. Matty Long was pro on Volume.
Sorry to get off topic, but I forgot about that totally.
So
God, he was a BMX dude.
He got Matt Ray on, and then Kenny Hirsch got me hooked up. I actually, before I got put on Volume, I won a Twitter giveaway for a Volume RJ20R frame, which was an awesome frame, by the way. I was stoked at that, and then I think Kenny Hirsch moved out there after, so I was kind of on Volume's radar, I guess you could say, after winning that giveaway.
Yeah, they
And
were familiarized with it.
And then Kenny Hirsch just put in the word, got me on. I was on Grassroots for probably like a year and a half maybe, and then I got bumped up to AM with the video I dropped, and then I was on AM for a few years, and then maybe 2.5 years ago I bumped, or 2 years ago I got bumped to pro. I'm not sure.
No, I remember it was a big deal though. I remember I called you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you fell off the earth. I haven't heard from you in years.
He's
probably
still working
after
on the boat.
Yeah,
Bro, I've
he
been,
was
ri-
still
I've,
on the
I've been
boat in
riding.
the old
I've been riding
voyage.
again for a solid 2 years, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
No,
can we,
you've been
can we
back
just
a
go
year.
back to that volume frame for a second? Because I remember when you got that, and I thought that frame was so cool because of the graphics. It was like the
That frame was
vintage,
fucking
like the
sick,
pink with the
dude.
yellow, and then I think blue too.
Yeah, I
It
mentioned
was-
I wanted to do something similar to that recently.
Yeah.
That's a vibe right there. That I'll insert a picture of the volume RJ20R right here. Beautiful frame. They had it in black, white, neon green, and maybe one other color, but it looks sick.
You had the black and
Had
the neon
black.
green, right?
No, I had the black with the neon.
Someone had the
stickers.
neon green from around here.
looks
Maybe
sick.
Grant? I don't know.
I don't know.
Someone had neon green.
I know
I
exactly
remember the
the
neon
frame
green.
you're talking about because I remember the colorway. That was cool for
Then-
sure.
And then Merit happened 2 years ago. That happened.
So now you're off demo. You weren't. You're
I was never on demo.
you
I
were
was just
never
getting
on
hooked
demo.
up
by demo.
because their parent, like the
The-
parent
the-
company, was 180 Distribution, same company. I got
That's
hooked up with
Volume.
parts from Yeah, same thing.
Demo volume same.
Technically never on the brand though.
Was it a separate team? It was.
Yeah,
right?
separate team, but I know they tried to separate, or I think they tried to separate some of the riders because they had kind of an overlapping team for a minute. So
Yeah.
they tried to get it all
So it
like a
didn't
little
make
bit
any-
different, you know.
Mhm. Diversify your bonds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Panzo, let's hear a little bit more about Colt.
I think it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago, and it was at the time that like Grant was kind of just like going back and forth to Cali.
Grant Germain, we're talking about.
Yeah,
by the way.
Grant Germain.
Shout out you, Grant.
And
I said Hugh Grant, like the actor. Sorry, you going. Shout out Hugh Grant. Shout out you, Grant.
Punny Pete.
So
I forget exactly how it went, but I think he just put in the word for me, and then I had dropped the Come Up exclusive back in the day. The Come Up
yeah.
exclusive.
Which
that
I
was
saw,
the wave.
Which I saw.
Yeah, if you had a
Yeah.
Come Up exclusive back then, like you were
You
the
We all
shit.
had one, right?
You were,
You were
yeah.
the
Everyone
shit,
I think
yeah.
in our crew had the Come Up exclusive.
That's
Me,
fire.
Yeah.
you, obviously Grant because he was going back and forth to Cali, and Justin had one, and Austin. So the whole crew pretty much
Did
had
Bill
one.
have one?
Austin
Even
Hill.
Bill had one.
Which Austin?
Austin Mazer.
He had
Oh,
a
Austin Augie had a Come Up
exclusive
exclusive
too,
as well.
right?
Yeah, I think Austin Mazer's videos might be on the actual No Jumper channel because back in the day.
definitely not no jumper. Probably
No,
the Come Up
no. Something happened with the Come Ups YouTube, and then they started posting on No Jumper. But at the time, I think it was a different name, or maybe it was still
Oh,
No
but
Jumper.
it's the same channel.
It
No,
was-
Adam had the No Jumper channel way before he had.
Bro, every time we do one of these, you're gonna hear the train. It's so crazy, and the
That's
windows
sick.
closed. I love it.
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, so
Adam's been putting on for a minute, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Throughout
Mhm.
our whole lives, Adam has been like a.
Adam put me on the top 10 East Coast AM riders list
I remember
years
that.
ago.
Adam
I
put
remember that on
a
the
video
Come
of
Up.
me riding Greenport skate park in really skinny jeans for like a split second because I was in someone else's video. But anyway, keep going.
But yeah, I think that's what really started it. Grant putting in the good word, and then once I dropped that video on the Come Up, I remember Robbie reached out via Facebook, and I was like shitting my pants at the time, and then
Oh hell yeah! I can only imagine, dude.
and yeah, we just touched base since then, and we kept going back and forth. I got my first bike, or like complete bike, and
Fire mids.
fire mids, and
Cole makes sense because Robbie's from Long Island, and Robbie, I remember riding Huntington with Robbie and Russ and Grant back in the day because
That's
Robbie
true.
would come home from California and just ride local parks around here. So
mhm.
seeing a lot of Long Island guys coming up and riding for Colt, it makes more sense than people would think.
Yeah,
you know, 'cause
I
Colt's a
mean, I
California
remember
company.
especially the Long Island bike shop jams. That was like
were
super
sick.
popping,
Yeah.
and I remember that's like kind of right when I really started taking BMX seriously, and like I was going to all the jams on Long Island, and I remember not the first time that I met you, but I met you again for like a second time at a Mastic Jam, which Colt hosted, I think with Fox as well, and that might have been
That's another thing we're going to touch on later in the podcast about jams.
Yeah.
How important they are.
yeah.
But you know what? You know,
They kind of
jams used to be.
We'll
They're
go
important.
more on
no
that later.
jams are very
They're
important.
Still?
Yeah.
Still
You
very
think so?
important.
Yes.
I wouldn't know. I'm not really on the scene like that.
We'll dive into that later on.
Yeah,
Fully.
but yeah, so it was Colt, and then Robbie put me on to Jerry at Vans, and then I started getting hooked up by Vans, and I'm still getting hooked up by Vans, but it's nothing serious. And And then my bike got stolen in New York City. I think it was like 3 years ago, maybe like right before one of our Woodward trips, or maybe it was like 2 years ago. No, I think it was at least 3 years ago. But Odyssey sent. I was about to go on a trip to Arizona.
I remember.
And my bike got stolen maybe like 4 days before this trip, and I was literally like losing my mind.
I would be.
And Robbie had sent a bike to Arizona, so when I got to Arizona, a bike would be there. And then Odyssey hit me up. I think it was like before I actually had talked to Robbie, and I just like posted the picture, and they instantly hit me up. And at the time, I think I was trying to get on Odyssey, and I reached out to Brock to see if like there's any room or if they're looking for any
just
riders.
All the common dudes were getting put on.
Yeah, I think so. And then ironically, like Nuno had hit me up, and then he sent me like a whole bunch of parts. So pretty much I had like 2 bikes coming from, or 2 bikes being delivered. And yeah, I was getting hooked up by Odyssey for a little bit, and then I think it was like Merit. You just got on Merit, and then you had like talked or something, and then I like started riding for Merit, and I stopped riding for Odyssey, and or I was never really riding for Odyssey. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying, but then
riding
yeah,
Odyssey parts.
Yeah, I was just getting hooked up by Odyssey. It was just a kind thing that they did, and I really wanted to be on the team. And then I think they had just put on the kid Chase, and they said that they really didn't have like a budget or something. I don't know.
Chase?
Listen,
Chase Krolicki.
Not to put you on the spot. What happened with Merritt?
Why you gotta do that? No, nothing really happened. It was just like
Smashes the button. Revenue.
Do we know that the generating revenue meme stemmed from single-handedly you?
It's amazing. I love it.
You are literally a fucking meme almost. I swear to God.
I love it, but
dude,
you should have let me get to that point.
I know,
you
but
just put me like I'm still working on.
The thing is, that's good though, is that you roll with it. Like you're not bothered by the fucking meme-ification of it.
Dude,
like
I love
the
Team
oil
Weed.
slick pizza, the team weeds,
I
the
love it
rodeo
all.
Tony Pizza.
the water bug of Alicia. It's so funny, but yeah. Then it was from Odyssey. They were hooking me up. It was just like a few times I got like a package, and I definitely like really wanted to be on the team. Then
was Aaron Ross on the team at that time?
Aaron Ross is still on the team.
Aaron Ross has been on the team forever.
Aaron Ross
He ain't
how
leaving,
old is Aaron
dude.
Ross now? Like fucking 40?
3 maybe.
He's a man.
Yeah, he's sick. He came to New York.
Dude,
and
he just
fucking
put out a
murdered it.
banging ass video like this year.
Remember when we met him when we were really young? Because our friend Brian, who recipes.
He
recipes
posted that
Brian.
picture
Yeah.
recently.
Aaron just remembered like recently that was me when I posted it.
I was the person.
Like
I was the
5
person
years,
that told
6,
him
10,
that
7 years.
I was like, dude, I somehow had I think maybe fucking Twitter, MySpace, maybe I hit him up. I was like, dude, Brian, passed away, and then he like flew here.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
Shout out to
nuts.
Aaron
Yeah,
Ross.
shout out Aaron Ross. Aaron Ross is a real
Great guy.
stand up guy, man. He's really for the youth.
Mm-hmm.
Always has been the BMX team. But
He
anyway,
did-
keep going.
He
Honestly.
did a fakey hop over handrail, which is
That's
nuts.
insane.
insane.
He looks like he reminds me of like a grizzly bear on a bicycle.
Did you see his new edit?
No,
Dude,
It was
he's a
fucking
savage.
insane.
really, it was good.
Yeah, he killed it.
What's it titled?
In the hood.
Still standing.
Aaron
Ross
Ross
in the
BMX
hood.
Odyssey 2018. Asterisk.
No
in
brakes.
the hood. No brakes.
No, he definitely breaks.
Damn, that hill bomb was brazy. Yo, what's up, Austin Augie? Can I get a gram of some fire mids? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, John Biggs, I got you.
But anyways, getting back to the point, then from Odyssey to Merit, and I'm no longer riding for Merit, and yeah, I'm just Colton Vans, and they've been holding it down. What's your story?
My story, okay. That's my BMX story. Well, 'cause
Just-
you know
just
what?
the whole
We
story.
can talk about getting hooked up from a brand. It's the universal thing. I mean, if you're a bike BMX rider, I mean, whether you do music or you're a BMX rider or whatever you are, you're always looking for some sort of validation from another outside source, like
Mhm.
a company or whatever. So, I haven't really been getting hooked up by, like any. I'm not on a record label or anything, but I do get reposts from certain collectives. So I have collectives that mess with me, and I have like a couple. It's all about networking with
Exactly.
the music thing. But my BMX story, I just, it didn't go nowhere. I rode. I was pretty good. Probably could have been something if I didn't quit, but I quit, and because I didn't see a future in riding a bicycle. Boy, was I wrong.
Now, when did you quit?
I rode solid.
Did you make it out of high school riding BMX?
No, hell no.
You quit before?
No, dude. As soon as I started drinking, I was like 16. I quit.
Shit.
Yeah, I started drinking Bud Heavy at like
Bud Heavy.
Bush Heavy?
no
Bush
Bud
Heavy?
Bud Head, just regular Budweiser.
Yeah, shout out.
Warm ass.
Bush Heavy.
All right, this is what happened. So I rode. I was like I was probably like 12 when I first started like an actual BMX bike. 12 years old. Yeah, 11 or 12, and I started going to the skate park out east, and then I moved from my mom's house to my. You heard that? Someone breaking the fuck in here? You heard that, right?
I heard something. But then again, it's the window. Every time something happens outside.
Dog, that sounded like someone straight kicked the fucking door in.
It might have been me tapping the.
No.
No. Fuck
Nah.
it though. If we get shot, we get shot. Fuck it. But anyway,
Fuck
yeah,
it, we'll do it live.
we're doing it live.
Someone post this video.
The thing
for
is,
us.
Fire. Not live.
Mids.
Yeah,
All
right.
right,
Someone's
anyway.
gonna have to post the
So
video.
I moved here from where I was at, and it was
Where were you at?
Little bad thing texting me. Yo, heroin, crack, crystal meth land, Long Island, like fucking Audis.
Mastic Shirley.
Bro, Mastic
I was riding
Shirley.
there
Remember
the
we
other
got
day.
pulled over
That's-
in front of your house.
Yo, remember
and they
we were
thought we were
yeah.
selling drugs, but meanwhile we were just going home.
That's when I first got my license too. I had a junior license. I wasn't allowed to be
Leaving
driving.
the skate
What were
park,
you
they thought
driving?
we were selling.
I had the SRT4,
Oh.
the first one I ever had when I was
We-
like 16.
We passed the cop. We passed
the cop,
somebody like laid
no, this is
over on
what-
the hood.
No, this is what happened. We were like, we were at Mastic Skate Park out east, right? And we were like, I was like, I used to live over here. Let's spin down my own block. So we pulled down my own block, and it's like a big ass drug bust going on. So I'm just like, oh fuck, let's get the fuck out of here. So like I'm pulling down my old block, and I see a cop bust a hard U, comes behind me, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm about to just pull up in my fucking old crib's driveway and just act like I'm going.
We
home
were
or some
literally
shit.
10 feet away from your
Yeah,
house.
exactly. It was nuts. But yeah. So that's where I used to live. I used to live in really really hood fucked up area. Shit was rough as fuck growing up over there. Being out at nighttime and shit. But
Who was living out there? Your mom or your dad?
my mom was living out there, and then I
Yeah.
moved out here when I was 12. 13, right before high school, I moved here.
And you were already riding.
Yeah, I was riding, but I wasn't good. I was like young as hell. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to do any cool shit yet. So then I moved out here, and to Bayshore, which is like definitely hood, but definitely way cooler. Like it's not.
It depends.
It's not, bro.
It's not as druggy.
it gets fucking. It's not as drug. Exactly. It's hood. Like you know what I'm saying. If you get rocked on if you're not acting right and shit, and if you're in the wrong part of the air, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
north and south.
Yeah,
It's
like
two
exactly.
complete
Like
different
the north,
things.
Exactly. Like there's Bright Wars and there's North Side, and it's just you know what I'm saying. But it's all one school, so it was cool. I had no issues. But I moved here, and Billy's from West Islip, the neighboring town. So there wasn't there was not that many BMX riders when I was young. Everyone was a skater from Bayshore. Everybody like there was-
Everyone in West Islip was a rider.
I
There's
feel
no
like-
Yeah,
skateboarders.
so there's a lot of riders in West Islip, so I started going to Green Lawn. My dad would take me, and I met Billy, and that was we were young, we were like 13, so we started riding, and we were like, we started the YouTube thing, like real fucking. There was like 10 big BMXers on YouTube at the time, and it was
No,
like,
there weren't.
It
think there was
probably
more
like-
than that
There
in
was
08.
none.
In 08,
There was none.
there was none. Yeah,
There was no BMXers on YouTube.
It was just like us.
There was people who would post their edit, but like once a year.
Because even me,
type
bro,
shit.
when I was like 13, I put up a video how to foot jam tail whip, and like in the beginning, I was like making funny faces, like,
Yeah.
and I was like trolling, like how to foot jam
Yeah.
tail whip. Bro, I got 95,000 views in 2 days. I deleted it because I got scared. Like YouTube was untapped. Like one time, I made a fight compilation video. Right, this is when there was before there was no money.
There's no
in YouTube.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just whatever. Like, but I could have taken advantage of the channel growth, but I just deleted the whole shit. I had a channel. I made like a fight compilation, and it literally did like 2.2 million views. I swear to God, and it got flagged and like taken down for copyright or whatever. But it was just like, that's how things were. But yeah, so I rode the whole YouTube thing. I never got hooked up officially by any bike companies, but we always had people looking out because we were like known. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, Long Island Bikes was lit. Yeah, so I rode, and then I started driving and drinking and driving. I not at the same time, But you know what I'm saying? Like right around the 16-year-old.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and
Yeah.
drive. I was not saying
We're not
that.
promoting drinking and
The
driving.
occasional road soda, fuck it, but
No.
no, yeah,
No.
no drinking. No drinking.
Passenger road soda.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
alright.
with all that shit. Nothing better than cracking a beer at 95
All
miles
right.
per hour.
Wait. Let's go back to the riding part.
Driving with your toes.
Driving with my fucking knees fully reclined, getting some schlop.
All
Wait,
right.
Peter. Before I met you, at least in my town, you were known as the kid that rode the flat bottom of the mini ramp, especially at John's
Pete
house.
never rode his
Yeah,
bike faster
I didn't
than
like
3 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was a slow guy. I like to do like little shit.
That's
Yeah.
why he didn't make it out of the ramp when he tried to learn how to tail whip because he wasn't
Yeah,
going
bro.
fast enough.
I was like everything I did was fly out. If it was anything, it was fly out to flat. I never rode transition to transition.
So
ever.
it's true that when you went to one of John's
John,
jams,
I went to
you were riding the
there's
flat
this
bottom
kid.
of the ramp.
Well, not everyone's gonna know who Johnny is. So there's this kid, John Nemisek. Shout out you, John. He's got a cool kid from around here. Got cool cars. Had a fucking dope mini pipe. What do you call it? Mini pipe? Isn't it?
Always had
Half pipe.
backyard ramps.
It's a half pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some sick. He didn't have sick ramps at the time. 'Cause if he had a fly box, I would have been riding it. But he had a half pipe. I don't ride half pipes. I can't air them more than 2 feet. I was just never good. I just grew up riding street. You know what I'm saying? So he had a fucking jam, and everyone's killing it, doing like crazy shit, and I'm just like, I want to do bar spins, and I can't air it, so I'm just gonna ride the flat bottom and do hot bars on it. And that's it.
Word.
Yeah. So that's my BMX story.
And then
I
you were
st-
infamous.
Yeah, I was infamous for doing a bunch of fuck shit. And then
Spray
Yeah.
painting bikes too, right?
yeah, then I went out to have the regular high school yeah, we already talked about that, bro. I don't want to even relive that. If you guys want to see me in my underwear at 14 before I hit puberty, go on Billy's old channel and find it. Fuck you. But
All right, let's get back on topic to.
no, I'm still telling my story, motherfucker.
What?
20 minutes ago, it's 25 minutes. No, I'm just
It's
saying.
like
I
you
grew
gotta
up,
insert the.
Now I do music, and
All right,
we told our stories.
tips on getting sponsored.
That's a good one. I can't help you.
This is universal tips for any. I would say most action sports or any kind of athletes
Nowadays, or we're talking back then?
nowadays.
Okay, so
Nowadays
obviously-
is way easier than
Yeah.
it was. Kids right now, yeah, there may be more competition. There's more means of getting your name out there, so there's going to be more people out in other countries that you never heard of who are doing way crazier, bigger things. But that doesn't mean that you can't still get ahead. All right, getting sponsored, means of social media.
social media is
100%.
so
Social media
important.
is huge right now.
Getting noticed is getting noticed universally.
Back in the day, what would you have to do? Make a full-on DVD and like submit it to companies through mail and shit if you wanted to get sponsored, and then they would probably
crazy.
just watch it and laugh at you if it wasn't that good. And they'd be
Which
like,
it never was that
there's
good.
a sponsor tape from this guy. Like
Yeah.
now, you literally can just put a video out on YouTube, whatever, on your Instagram, just consistently post content of doing dope shit on whatever you're doing, bicycle, skateboard, scooters, whatever. Building some sort of fan base or some sort of like support for
Audience.
yeah, exactly. Just getting your name out there and consistently doing stuff. Like if you want to be a professional bike rider and you're posting dope shit of you riding, but you're posting dope shit of you riding once a month, and then the rest of the shit you're posting is non-relevant to what you want to get sponsored for, then it's going to be harder for you. It's probably not going to happen. But if you're
It's kind of like branding in a way.
yeah, you have to brand yourself to make a company want to have their name attached to your
Exactly.
Yeah,
name.
if you want to be successful,
They don't care about your cat put pictures 5 times a week. You know, it's like unless you have a name for yourself already, you're not.
Well,
It's gonna be,
that's like being consistent.
Yeah, you
with
wanna
your brand.
post- I would say, you know, you want to have an editor video
Frequently.
your best shit. You don't even have to. You can just post it to Instagram these days if you want to. I mean, it's frowned upon by big names in the industry, but fuck them. Like
Well,
that shit will be evolving faster than they can keep up with it, so it doesn't matter.
let's take a step back real quick and talk about how it was maybe like a few years ago.
That's
you know,
what I'm saying.
we're
How much has
going
changed.
instantly right now to Instagram.
Okay, so we'll
Instagram
start
really-
how we did
But
it.
exactly. so
We kind of did post a lot of our stuff to YouTube. We
Everything.
rode a lot. We ride as much as we can. All we would think about in high school or middle school growing up was
Spots.
riding. Everything, riding, going to new spots. If you're an insane rider and you're going to the same skate park every day, no one cares.
no one.
People want to see you ride different stuff.
I
What
just breathed and I heard it. It's really funny.
What?
I breathed. It's like.
I'm getting really hot, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
starting to
getting
sweat.
hot. But
brother. Shower
Pete
afterwards.
fucking interrupting.
Sorry,
some
bro.
bullshit again.
You were on some fire right there. And I just breathed weird. Sorry.
Yeah, but just talking about like Instagram, I feel like it was only up until like a few years ago that Instagram like just blew up, you know?
Yeah, so
When they allowed
when-
video.
Yeah, that was when Vine shut down. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people made that switch to Vine too
we were
because
posting
both me and you, I don't know
that
about
were
you either.
fire.
No, I had no idea there was even a BMX.
yeah, Vine was
market.
Vine was huge.
No
Not necessarily
way.
a market, but we had an audience.
Not
on
a
Vine.
market, yeah. 'Cause I mean, like another platform.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's,
and
that's
then
fucking news.
and then Instagram came out with the same thing, so everyone was like, "Oh, what am I gonna do on Vine?" You know, it's like they're not really doing anything new. And
What
then
kind of 6-second BMX clip was there though?
No, I think it
Fire
was
park
15, no?
clips. Was it
No,
15?
bro.
6
6
or
seconds.
8.
6
6, 7
seconds.
seconds.
And I think that's why the
6
app
seconds.
shut down too, is because they couldn't get ads. So
Yeah.
it all collapsed. But anyways, getting back to the point is just that we used to have to film videos that would take us maybe like a year to film,
Mhm.
you know, and I feel like
Yep.
now
Yeah,
like
for
kids
sure, a year.
now kids are
Over
just
a
doing
year,
the
some of them.
craziest shit and just posting it instantly because they want that instant satisfaction.
Gratification.
Yeah.
It's-
Exactly.
That's because
Which
the world is so much
is-
faster
which
now.
is good and bad in its ways, and people will argue both ways, and I see both sides of the story, but I think that
As a-
BMX is evolving a little bit slower than modern media is evolving.
yeah.
Magazines are dead.
They see
all
Crankflip X
videos.
up. They're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, and it's on Instagram.
Yeah,
It's
I know,
on
and like
you
everyone's
know,
like,
it's
"Yo,
on
like Crank-"
someone's Instagram story. It's gonna be on in 24 hours.
Yeah,
you
they're
know?
not
It's
even
like just
checking
like, oh, fuck these guys. It's like save that for a DVD part. But
When
it's like,
rea-
in
when
reality,
reality,
that
those-
clip is getting more views than
Views,
your
and that's
DVD.
gonna sell more product because that
It-
kid has more of a following.
It's,
How do you
it
judge
goes
that?
up and down, but
How
I would
does it-
say that arguing save that shit for a DVD mindset is fucked, and it's not
100% fuck.
because I could put a clip out on Instagram last week, got 78,000 views. I could work on an edit for 2 years and it will get 30,000
Yeah,
views
yeah,
on
that's what I'm
YouTube. You
saying.
know, and it's
It's all about it's impressions, bro. It's about fucking statistics.
in a sense, yeah.
It is. It's
Statistics
about-
are a
it's
lot.
about reach. It's
is
about reach.
Yeah, reach and impact is
It's
Exactly.
important.
and
engagement,
also,
engagement rate.
but getting back to the jams thing we touched on before, where you said they're not as important
I
as
just
they
didn't
were.
think they were.
They are very important. You could be the best rider online, but if nobody knows you, nobody can back. You know, say some company owner knows somebody from your area, and they go, "Oh,
Oh.
how's this kid? Oh, I've never seen him at a jam. He's a cool guy. He's got his sunglasses, headphones in every time. Doesn't talk to anybody. Like,
I know
He's
a lot
not a
of those
cool-
guys.
know a couple
They
of those
suck.
guys, and you're not gonna get anywhere in BMX with that attitude, that mindset. So you have to be present in jams. I think jams, you have to, you know,
Show
I'm
face,
a
yeah.
shy guy. Like at jams, people might think like, oh, he's a dick, which I haven't heard, but I feel like that sometimes.
I've
'cause
heard
I'm
it so
not.
many times.
Shut up.
Me too.
I'm
Every time
just-
I go anywhere, like, fuck that Billy Perry kid. I hate his fucking guts.
I'm just not an
No,
like,
but-
outgoing guy in a
You're not
sense.
as bad
Unless
as
you
you think
come
you
up
are.
to me, I'm probably not gonna, you know,
Reach
but
out, yeah.
so that for me is hard, but for other people going to a jam, you know, they might be super hungry, super like, which is also good and bad in a way. You don't want to be the hungry guy who cuts everybody off trying to get their truck driver in.
Yeah.
Like,
They don't
you
go
look
into-
like a
Yeah,
dick.
they don't go anywhere.
You have to be. There's a balance
happy
of being
medium. Yeah.
good and cool.
And
you don't want to
also-
be too cool, and you don't want to be too good where you're cutting everybody off and being a dick. You know?
Exactly, because
Or
at that
too
point,
shy.
nothing even matters because you have to balance it out. You may be the best BMX rider, but if you're being that fucking snake like Jake
I
Layton
see
back
it-
in the
I
day,
see it
you don't
all the
matter.
time.
Aren't you having a jam?
Yeah, we're
Saturday?
having a jam Friday in the city, Friday night, 5:00 p.m. Union Square.
What's
this
the date?
Friday, 9
What's the date for anyone watching?
9/14/18 if this podcast is out by then.
Yeah.
And then Sunday at the Vicious Cycle Bike Shop, Long Island, New York, we're having a Volume Bikes just a Volume Bikes Vicious Jam. The other jam in the city is Volume FTL Jam.
But yeah, jams are super, super important.
There's-
when you said
It's
that
also
before,
important. It's also
like-
important if you're not known on social media.
There's
to go to a-
nothing more
If you're a good
important
rider,
than face-to-face networking.
And also, it's good for the BMX community, you know, bringing everything together, bringing all these riders together. You know, maybe they don't have the chance to, you know, purchase these bike parts. Maybe they don't have that money, so they could come out. They know that
Oh,
they could win some free shit, and then that motivates them more and
Dude,
more
the
to
that
keep
kids-
gets
riding.
you
kids
in the
go-
eye of the company representatives that
Exactly.
are there. You know,
The
the
kids
company
go
owner might
nuts.
not be there, but somebody who works at the company who can put in a good word and, hey, let's get this guy on grassroots. And that's how you build a relationship. You're not going to turn pro overnight. It doesn't happen unless you're
No.
some sort of prophet and Nike sees you and they're like, oh my God,
Sean
this
McKenney.
guy's going to win the Olympics.
Sure.
You know, it's not going to happen, especially in BMX. Like, BMX is more built on a relationship type thing than it is being the best rider or, you know. I see a lot of riders who are not the best riders, but they're getting support from companies, you know. It's
because
just,
they're cool.
they're cool, yeah. It doesn't matter how many bar spins you can do in a line or
Yeah.
backflips out of a fucking curb cut. It doesn't matter. It's more about being cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying for example. Pete
I
could
wanna-
fucking front flip off the roof right now, and companies would be like, "Who's this guy?"
He's a
Fucking
well,
front
they would
foot
just
down
be like,
El Toro.
if anyone saw any bike
Yeah,
company
all
would
you
look
gotta
at me,
do.
they'd be
alright,
like, "You're a liability."
all you gotta do to get sponsored is go to El
El
Toro.
Toro.
El Toro.
Bring him to El Toro.
Wait,
Yeah.
can we just hold real quick? So back to what you said before, something about Nike, and I just had thought of something so funny in my head. So Dustin, not Justin, is now working for Gary Vee, and today
He's filming
Nigel,
Nigel's
Shit.
podcast.
he's filming Nigel's podcast,
I've
right? And I'm
seen
sure
that.
Dustin is actually watching this video, but now Dustin is the biggest meme creator for
I
Gary
thought
and Nigel
Nigel's-
talk. I thought that was hilarious, dude.
Bro, I wonder what he's gonna make from this. He's probably just sitting there pissed the whole time.
Shout out to
Anyways,
Dustin.
yeah,
to
shout out
Nigel.
Dustin. Congratulations on your job. I watched your video the other day, by the way.
Are we team Rodeo Peanut or team Weed?
Team Weed, by the way.
Team Weed.
Team Weed, 100%. But I do like Justin.
I
Justin.
just watched
Dustin
from the
a lot.
outside.
Fire, man.
I run Team Weed. I didn't want to.
You do not run
Bro,
Team
that
Weed.
out
you
there.
gotta stop telling people that, bro, because you know what I'm saying. It's
Know what I'm
supposed to be
saying?
anonymous, but everyone knows Billy Pay runs Team Weed.
But they don't run Team Weed. I know the guy that runs Team Weed.
Austin Augie.
Yeah.
You would never have guessed.
It's why it goes so
Goddamn,
hard.
boys, I'm
All
sweating.
right. So also,
it's because it's oil.
back-
It's olive oil coming out of your fucking pores.
it's a Tony's pizza.
It's a fucking pepperoni.
Oh my god,
Bro, I'm sweating, dude.
It's
I'm sitting in
oil
this
slick,
chair. It's
grease.
fucking-
Bro, you have straight oil slick pizza leaking out of your pores. I'm literally fucking dry right now. I'm not even wet. I'm not hot at all.
Fuck
right.
off.
Take the beanie off, bro. Man,
Fuck
it's 80
off.
fucking degrees.
Alright,
You're in a beanie.
I had a really important thing I wanted to touch on, but I got sidetracked. Knowing the right people. So face-to-face networking is huge for becoming a sponsored athlete. Did you have
What were
anything
you
to
saying,
add on
Billy?
this?
Robert Lozier.
Wait, let's talk about El Toro. I mean, we're already on the subject
Okay,
of getting sponsored, right? Might as well talk about El Toro. So the kid did the double bar spin down El Toro. How do you
That
guys
was
feel about
insane,
that?
Insane.
How do you feel about that? Because this kid's he's
I
fucking
still
crazy.
I don't feel anything.
I think maybe the way that kid rides, it would take him. He says he doesn't have a filmer, but if he just took that iPhone clip, you know, a month of riding and saved it, he could have had a sick video.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone's gonna fly him out
He's,
somewhere.
But-
that kid's really, really good.
But the thing about the double bar down on El Toro is he got a lot of slack from a lot of big riders, which is fucking ridiculous.
For doing
When you look up to somebody and they have nothing but shit to say
Say, yeah.
after
That
you
does
do
suck.
something crazy, that's a shitty feeling.
what kind of shit were they saying?
Just like put it in a video part, which in some
No, there
cases
was
I
there
can
was some
agree.
more cruel things being said than that. Like,
Really?
oh,
It's
they're
not-
just
it's not a-
fucking
it's
stupid.
not an
Like,
ABS.
sit
Oh.
for fucking.
If we're gonna, the dude from Dig, right? That's
no,
what you're talking about.
Fuck that. That was that kind of struck a nerve with me because he sounded like such a salt prick, and that dude's not. Yeah, he may be whatever so and so with these brands over in Europe or whatever, but he's not evolving with the generation that
Yeah.
we are evolving with right now. And one day, you know, we might be the old guys getting pissed off, but I'm not gonna go and write a fucking 20-minute like
Fucking
blog
essay.
about it. You know, that kid did the double bar on El Toro and he got more clout
Attention.
than that.
Yes.
Than if he put it in a DVD just because that guy
Exactly.
wrote that blog. And
Yep.
shout out to Adrian for doing that double bar
That
because
shit was crazy.
in the grand scheme of thing, we're talking about it on
Exactly.
fucking a podcast. He got a whole blog about it. You know, if that
That's
was in a
true.
DVD part, it would not have
It
happened.
had people talking.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have fucking
so
watched
he fucking shook.
You got to get with the times.
He shook.
The BMX industry.
He shook the industry in a sense of they didn't know how to handle a double
Yeah.
bar on Instagram.
By using
you know, a
Instagram.
banger.
By
But
using
by
in-
using
Insta-
by doing something. I
By
will
being
always
with
say
being
this.
with the times.
I will always say this. It's if BMX is so stuck in a way of like
Yeah, it's a rut. It's like a
It's-
cycle.
you
Like,
have
all
to
the
do
same
things the
old shit.
BMX industry way, or you're not doing it the right way. And I say fuck that.
Fuck
you got to
that.
do whatever
course.
you feel like is fun.
Bro, you guys get so much shit for vlogging.
Yeah,
Just
of
for
course.
vlogging.
All right, YouTube.
And your BMX and your vlogs are BMX oriented, so I don't know why the fuck anyone would even care. You
Well,
know
it's
what I'm
not-
saying?
I don't.
They
know.
are. They're
I mean, I'm
BMX.
sure people talk a lot of shit. I don't really hear it directly.
No, of course they. But
But
those old heads talk
once
shit about
you
all the
do,
vloggers.
yeah. Well, all the old heads, all the trail dudes, they don't like us. Whatever. I mean,
You know what we have to say to them? Fuck off.
Bitch.
we
Doing it live.
If you want to make a wave, if you want to make something, stir the pot a little bit, do something your way. Don't do it the way somebody else did it. And I'll say that forever.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't be in this office right now doing this podcast
if you
weren't
took the
doing
traditional route.
If we didn't take the route that like, hey, this shit might fucking ruin us, like
Perfect example,
I wanted
Augie.
to be a professional rider. Like I already am. I wanted to be pro. I could see it like eventually that few years down the line, if I keep riding, making video parts, I could see becoming a pro rider. And I knew if I started doing YouTube videos, I might fuck that all up if I get a bad rep in the industry.
Well, because they don't take
and
you
I was
seriously.
just like, fuck that. Like I remember being a young kid, making videos on YouTube, riding my bike, having a good ass time, and that's really all I wanted to do.
That's all you know.
And that's what I knew the best, and I wanted to do that, and I did it. And you know what? If you don't like it, then whatever. Good for you. I don't care.
I also feel like there's a sense of they don't take you as seriously if you're doing YouTube because take Augie.
Augie gets the most shit from
so
anybody I
shit.
know, but he's having the most fun on a daily basis.
But people take it away from his riding because of his presence on social media and his other endeavors. Like, bro, if you really watch Augie ride, Augie can fucking ride.
Yeah, it's just because he's on a video.
But people say he's
that,
pro. Like, remember how people were saying LZ's pro because it was a good business move? Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? LZ's good at riding.
LZ was good at riding. Like,
you think LZ was pro worthy?
Dude, he did a up rail hard 180 whip like 3 years ago. He's a fucking good rider. I don't care what anyone says.
But you think he would have got picked up if it wasn't
there's
for
a company for everyone.
That's
exactly.
another good point.
But there's no doubt that you cannot say that Adam LZ
I'm not
wasn't
saying
a good
Adam
rider.
LZ is not a good rider, but I'm just saying I feel like he might have gotten prioritized over other riders that were better because of his YouTube.
That's what we're trying to get at here. It's not about how good you are. It's about how good you are at networking.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And
That's a good point. And another good point you said was that not every company is a good fit for you.
exactly. So I don't
should
think
go
I
more
could
into
see
that.
myself on one company, but I could see myself with another company. It's like, and
Yeah.
100%. And now bringing back to the point where you were like, oh, what happened with Merit? I honestly couldn't see myself riding for that company.
could you see any of us on like FBM? Like
No,
an older,
or like what's
like-
Sean Bird's on?
Bone Death.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
you're
Or
gonna
like
see me
T1,
with
you know?
plastic 4 plastic pegs doing flat ledge tricks on Bone Death.
Just-
That's
Nah.
that's not a
what
fit.
I know.
There's fits that for certain people, but
And you learn.
It's
and,
an aesthetic.
and like you said
Mhm.
before, it's like almost you shop around, but
Okay.
not in that sense.
I have
right?
a big point right here I want to get across. Clones.
Doing it live.
Clones. You do not. All right, you can be influenced by a rider, but you don't want to be to the point where you're.
Are we
a
name
clone.
dropping? Are we name dropping?
Oh, Brandon
name-
Beacon is a clone.
No, Brandon Beacon
is
is
a clone of
not
himself.
a clone.
Brandon Beacon's a clone of himself.
No, I know, but the meme.
I know
The meme of Brandon Beacon being a clone. He's the perfect.
Shout out Beacon.
Beacon's the perfect example of not being a clone. He
And
has his
not
own
giving a
path
fuck.
and the own image.
How many Beacon clones are there out there?
Hundreds, a lot.
I
This
think at least
Beacon
100
is a
Beacon
fucking
clones.
sick rider. He's a sick person to watch. Like his whole aesthetic, it may not be for everyone, but he did it. Like he did it in a way that was sick, and people
I love
see
watching
him
him
and they
ride.
exactly. You tell me every day we go out riding, Beacon's my favorite rider. I would ride
I
any
don't know.
parts that
Maybe
Beacon
Mazer.
rides.
I think Mazer is my favorite rider.
Mazers.
All right, yeah,
Very good
there you go.
Fucking love Mazer. There's someone for
Mazer.
everybody. Mazer, I can't wait to see you again,
But
buddy.
you could be the
That's
best.
fucking 8 months, dude.
I know.
You could be a rider that could be a pro rider, but if you're an exact clone of Garrett Reynolds or Sean Ricani or Chad Curley or anybody, for example, Dennis Anderson, nobody cares. There's already one of them. Nobody wants a diet version of them or a knockoff Costco brand. As shitty as that sounds,
There's a lot
No, it's
of...
true, yeah. But
you're not going to make an image for yourself.
But what if your style is truly similar? You have to change
There's
it
a
up.
lot of Dennis Anderson
dude,
clones.
you can do
A lot.
the slightest thing to make your style different from somebody else.
This same thing goes
You need
for...
to find your own little niche.
This
Even
goes
if it's
beyond BMX, though. This goes into music, fashion,
hair.
everything. Don't
anything.
be a clone, yeah.
Exactly.
Because the thing is...
You'll see people who are just as good as one rider. They ride exactly like them, and they listen to the same music, same hairstyle.
Yeah.
If they could, they would drive the same car if they can. They just want to be that.
It's like
person.
no one's going to pick you up for that reason.
Hey,
Yeah, you can do that. Feel free to do that. But if you're not getting where they are doing it, then don't be shocked and surprised.
I want-
Stop jocking, motherfuckers.
I want to pinpoint one person just because realistically,
we're name dropping? We're name dropping?
Pans is
No,
name
you wouldn't even know the kid, Peter.
name dropping.
I'm name dropping.
Fire
I have a feeling.
No, the kid Lewis, he's from Australia. He was literally
Mills,
a clone.
Lewis
No. He was
Oh.
literally a clone of
Yeah.
Sean Ricani. the exact same clothes, the exact same, the way that he
The same.
wore his clothes. He sagged his pants at the time. He rode for Premium, then went to Stranger. It was like literally the same exact
like a
person doing
leech.
the
He actually
exact
did.
same clothes.
He actually
dude.
did get sponsored by the same company as him.
And
but
companies.
the thing you'll never get put on the same level as Sean is.
Yep.
Because
Was he on the same time on the same
exact
team?
same time.
But he
Why
was
the
he
fuck-
was through a distro, so
Yep.
it was like having a Sean McKenney out in Australia.
Oh, okay.
So
And
that
then
makes a little
eventually,
bit more
like,
sense, but
Where's he now? He doesn't. I don't even know if that kid rides.
I don't know.
BMX
I haven't
still.
seen him ride too much, but
That is definitely
You don't go far by copying. That's a fact.
Nope.
yeah, you
Same
can be
with
inspired
same
and
with music.
influenced, but
Bro,
don't copy.
In
Fucking
music,
be
you know how many people
yourself.
I hear? Bro, I swear to God, I'm always in the studio, right, with Creep, who makes most of my music. Brian, shout out Brian. He owns a recording studio in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
And in that recording studio, you know, he's got people in there all day, all night, all day. So I'm always there. I sit in on sessions all the time just to see what's going on. And I swear to you, besides the people that we work with directly, like our friends, everybody that's in there paying for a studio session literally is a clone. And it's almost like these fucking people are delusional, these kids that are making music. It's like you literally have a Future, someone who wants to be a Future. These are like, there's only 4. There's Future. They want to be Drake. They want to be Cardi B.
Cardi?
I'm playing. They want to be Playboy Cardi.
Or
they want to be... Or they want to be like...
and in reality, do you see any of these mainstream
bro,
rappers or
no.
artists?
cloning.
Do
There's
you
not
see
even
anyone who's very similar to each
No,
other?
there's nobody. Everybody...
Somebody has to have their own way,
Exactly,
their own path.
exactly. There's not even anybody that... It's like Gunna is kind of similar to Thug. And not even. It's just like... Nah, bro. I mean, if they're from the same city, have a similar style, but they still have different cadences to their voice and shit. It carries through with everything. You're not going to make a wave if you're on, and even if you feel yourself like being compared to somebody in a way, change up. You can change it up. You can tweak your style. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Nobody is to the bone. Everybody's like a fingerprint.
Everybody's got to learn.
Everybody
Shout out
comes
to
down
Young
to it.
Lean. He revolutionized that
Young
whole
Lean.
genre era.
Young Lean's the fucking best, bro.
I wanna bring up something real quick because, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, I was watching that Drake Bell No Jumper interview, and he had brought up Lil Pump and like
Who's Drake Bell, bro? You keep saying like
Drake
four
and
Drake and
Josh,
Josh,
dude.
bro.
What?
Oh, I know.
Come
Oh,
on,
no,
that
no,
is-
no. Bro, I know who
whose
that is.
mans is this?
I don't watch
Fucking
Drake and
Christ.
Josh. Bro, I grew up in the hood, baby. I sold crack.
Yeah,
All right,
right.
relax,
bro.
relax. Let's
You
take
grew
a
up
step
5
back real
minutes
quick
from
and
down
go
the
back
road.
to what I was saying. So Drake Bell was bringing up Lil Pump. Now, it was only like literally 1 year ago where Pump blew up, and then now look at him. It all happened so fast. And if you listen to his music, it's not like the best lyrical music. You know, he's not near
It's fun.
the best.
It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. He can't even compare him to like Eminem or something.
Again, though, pointing case, fucking, once again, Adam putting on Pump and
I guess, but
Bro,
what I'm
no.
saying is his music is totally different from anyone else's, and I feel like that's
Definitely
what,
not.
what drew him in.
Definitely not. It's not different than everyone else's. Pump. All these dudes make the same type of shit. It's just he's personally himself. The music is fucking. Lil Pump is 90% Lil Pump, 10% music. That's what Lil Pump is. Lil Pump is a is a
Which is-
polarizing figure, which
Yeah.
is the way things are nowadays.
It's kind of a dangerous thing.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's the same thing as putting a clip on Instagram and not saving for a video part. He's not paying enough attention to art. He's not.
I guess.
He's not into artist development. He's like, oh, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Pump, bro. I
Yeah.
love Pump shit.
And I think
And
Yachty
and
was
free
on
Pump.
the
Free
Yachty
Pump.
was on the forefront of an image being bigger than actually or better than the music.
Exactly, with the Sprite deal and shit.
Mhm.
And
he said
Target
he
Sprite,
said he
right?
said word for word, my brand outgrew my music.
That's funny that you bring him up because they also brought him up, literally saying the exact same thing in the podcast, and I really thought about it, but like it's so like off the grid. It's totally. I
He
feel
also-
like completely.
He also blew up off Instagram. Yachty.
I
There's a
guess.
dude
I mean,
Kalen-
at that point, you're
there's a
blowing up off everything.
No, but he blew up off. It's one video in particular is this dude Kaleon Fox put up a video of him dancing to Yachty's song, and people thought he was Yachty, but the song blew up from like a dancing video. That's how Yachty
It's
blew
a lot
up.
of songs blow up from dancing.
It's just nuts the way it
Yeah.
happens
Remember
right
that,
on Instagram.
Race
Fucking Roy
Runner?
Purdy.
But I'm saying back in the day, you used to have to go to a fucking record label with a demo tape, and you had to do
Yeah.
this. You had to write songs for people. You had to go to the clubs. You had
Right
to
now,
be-
you can upload your
you
shit
had
to
go
Instagram
you had
with
to
a
go,
dance.
You had to
and
go,
get a fucking
bro.
Viral hit.
Exactly. You used to have to go into the clubs and go up to the DJs and give your shit to DJs.
Look at Roy
personally.
Purdy, dude. That kid is
Shout out,
living
yo! I fuck
life.
with Roy Purdy, bro.
Just dancing.
I don't know. I
That's
don't.
all
Ne-
he did
I don't
was
necessarily like his
dance.
music, but Roy Purdy, he's fucking doing it.
He's killing it.
Roy Purdy is fucking doing it just from dancing and being white.
All right, what's the time? What do we got on the time right now?
We're at fucking 48 minutes. I'm doing an hour, bro.
An hour?
Yeah.
All right, so what's another thing that you wanted to talk about? Because I know we're kind of drifting off of BMX, but
Who the fuck cares, man? It's not safe.
We touched a lot. I mean, I'm gonna say
Well, no,
certain companies that if you may want to ride for, like Red Bull or Vans, or not Vans, maybe Vans, but like Nike, like companies like that, like Red Bull, want to see. I feel like contest results.
You know who's at
you
BMX?
know?
You know who's at BMX contest? BMX riders.
Yeah.
Like in people in the industry
Yeah.
is most like, yo, who the fuck is going to Simple Session?
Well, like
Simple Session's lit. We're all
Simple
going to
Session's
Simple
lit.
Session.
fire.
You're going to Simple
I'm
Session.
going. I am
It's
going to
fire.
Simple Session, but I'm
But
saying,
I'm gonna say
how many people are there like that are fans?
A lot.
I
Not
understand.
gonna lie,
I
there is
understand.
a lot.
But is it worth to the point where Red Bull should be prioritizing contest riders over people who are in the streets really pumping?
no. I think
What are
like
some other negatives? That's what we talked
because
about.
I know plenty of good riders and who have a lot of reach more than some people who are on Red Bull and
yeah, like
big-
dude,
big
if you tell me
Rockstar, Monster, and that are way better fits than these guys who just do numbers in contests.
who are these dudes? Like I go on Instagram, I see a clip of some dude doing a fucking. He'll do like a fucking 360 whip, fucking flare, fucking whatever, and it's like he's in a park and the full pads and shit. It's like I don't know who the fuck that is, and I don't care. I'd rather watch Began
Yeah.
peg chink a fucking curb, and
Yeah,
that's
but-
just where I'm at.
That's because you grew up riding that type of style. Now
No, I
people
didn't.
want to see the backflips. People want to see the
Do
tail
they
whips.
though? Red Bull does.
No. People that don't ride BMX.
Yeah,
That's
that
what's
is true.
appealing.
That is true. That is fucking true. That's 100% true.
Nobody wants to see you do a fucking 180 to curb chink.
and that's why that type of riding is more important to corporate.
Yeah, but Began's also got X amount of followers, a lot of engagement.
I have
that-
nothing against Began. I
But
think
that
he's-
No, but
the
yeah, but-
numbers are real. Like
Yeah,
they're
but that's a
there.
valid
Yeah.
point that we're saying. Why are these corporate companies like Red Bull, Monster, Fox? Why do these guys want to see contest numbers and these big tricks and shit like that?
What about street riders who are on Red Bull that aren't doing the biggest tricks?
How many street riders are on the Red Bull? Garrett.
Well, the thing is, it's not really the riders in the U.S. It's outside because you can't
Yeah.
really in the U.S. It's so much bigger.
I
You
feel
know,
like in Australia,
Red Bull is huge in the U.S. I mean, it's
Australia-
huge
Yeah,
worldwide. but
getting a sponsor from Red Bull or Monster in the U.S. is like slim
Totally
to none. It's
different.
not.
Yeah.
It's, unless you're doing numbers in X Games, you're not getting it. I feel like, but in other countries, you have in say
the community isn't as big,
Czechoslovakia
you
or
know?
something. You
Yeah.
know, like the Czech Republic or whatever. Like you may have more of a chance of getting on Red Bull because there's going to be less riders maybe here than there are here, and then you could have more of a connection with
they're
Red Bull.
trying to reach that demographic in
Yeah,
particular.
Red Bull Czech Republic, and
Yeah.
you can, work something out. Because I know a lot of people who are on international Red Bull or Monster, and they're good. They're really good, but they're not on Garrett Reynolds level. Or,
No, not at all.
you
But
know,
it's just
not
the
even
fact of
close.
where,
Anderson
it's the
level.
fact of where they're from, and if they move to America, they probably get dropped.
Well, the thing is, out there, the BMX community is nothing near what it is here in the U.S. You
Is
know,
it the
it's
biggest?
So
is the U.S.
it's-
BMX scene the biggest in the world?
probably.
England's big. Australia is huge.
Australia is fucking huge.
South America's probably pretty big.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
think about
but
all
you
the
got to look at it
Brazilians,
this way: like the whole
Brazilians.
industry is practically here. I mean, not really, but majority of the
There's
brands
some
are in
in
the
It's
Yeah,
just
United
like
States.
Hollywood, bro. Any base of any industry is America.
And now all those
England and
companies are
Australia
based
have
out of
Companies.
California, pretty much. You know,
Spain.
Monster, Red Bull.
Yeah,
It's
California-
all
I feel like
Rockstar too. Rockstar San Diego.
It used to be New York City, but now it's really California.
No, I mean Red Bull probably just had an office
Fuck that.
space
New
in
York's
NYC.
taking over.
Yeah, we're taking
New York
over.
coming
Taking
back.
over.
Matter of
Over.
fact, Hadrian Picard, if you're watching this, we want to do that Red Bull in New
Yeah,
York
what
City.
the fuck? They get all
that
these
Metro
other
Pass,
cities,
you know
but
what I'm
I don't
saying?
see any New York City Metro Pass. Let's go. Where are we at?
Check your DM. Check your spam.
Bro, no company's out here doing dope shit out in New York City anymore.
Hey,
I know. It's what I'm saying.
let's just point out one thing real quick.
gotta revitalize it.
Who is Red Bull subscribed to on YouTube?
No one fucking cares, man.
Billy.
Oh,
Yeah, Red Bull, if you're watching this, subscribe to the FTL podcast. We're doing
Rebel.
Big
Rebel
facts.
subscribed to you.
Yeah, like a long time ago from the GoPro videos. I
Fire.
tried to hit them up and reach
Oh.
out through a network, but I don't know, it never worked. I wanted to do a video with them, but
Even some cases of Rebel would be cool. I drink those shits like fucking.
dude,
that shit right
that's
here,
crack-
dude.
that's when I was working at the auto shop, and I was like, dude, if Red Bull just hooked me up with cases, like
I
these
could
guys
sell
will
'em.
love me. Like I'll just give them out to the guys at
Oh,
work.
yeah,
like
yeah.
they drink Red Bull like water over there, you know.
Grant
Yeah.
was getting hooked up by Red Bull for a
Who?
little bit. Nothing ever went through, but
Oh,
he was
you
definitely
were?
getting, no,
Yeah.
Grant.
Oh,
Grant was,
Grant,
yeah.
Grant.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Grant just happened to know the right people and work his way up in the company,
It's
but like he
networking,
wasn't in X Games or anything. Like,
I don't
Oh, he was actually in X Games.
yeah, they're a phenom thing, but
Yeah.
not like putting on numbers.
Red Bull
with, like,
Phenom. I remember that. Yeah,
with-
Grant did that shit.
He did. So I guess that's why they were hooking up a little bit then. But
Yeah.
he like, you know, him getting on actual Red Bull would be very hard because he's not
Doing numbers.
doing X Games.
So let's in synopsis. Let's think about let's like think what's the overall gist of this whole thing. What are you trying to? What would you say to a kid who's really getting good and he's really getting into the industry and he's at that point?
If you're only riding or skating to get sponsored, then you're doing it for the wrong
No,
reasons.
no, I'm not saying that.
Just use.
But I'm just gonna say a general broad
Okay,
synopsis.
yeah.
Yes. But
You have to have a real passion for it. You have to love it because, you know, you want to be out there every day progressing, riding, having a good time. That's all it is. And then, you know, you see that you may have the skill to get sponsored. You want to just ride, go to all these local events, post all your content, kind of get a little bit more serious of what you're posting on Instagram. Don't, like, I heard a bunch of things recently about really good skateboarders in the city, but they're posting, like, you know, cocaine on their girlfriend's, you know, tits or something. Like, that shit is not a good look.
For a brand,
it's not
yeah.
a good look for a brand. You're not gonna, no
Unless
brand,
you want to get on a brand that pushes that type of
like
shit.
Baker
Like you said,
or something. I don't know, like
Shake Giant, yeah, the Baker
Shake
Shake Giant.
Giant. Yeah, yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but
And that's the saying if he's
for
going
BMX, there's not really that many companies out there that will.
basically
promote that.
basically
On
what you're
that.
saying is pick a fucking lane and stick with your and believe in your brand. You know, what
Believe
I'm
in
saying?
yourself.
Believe in
That's
yourself.
really
Yeah,
it.
and
Believe in yourself.
brand yourself and be true to it.
As you evolve as a rider, you'll figure out what tricks you like to do more than others. You'll figure out what type of things you like to ride more than others, and you'll eventually pick your own lane. Don't get influence, get inspiration from whoever you want, I would say, but don't try and ride their wave too
Yeah.
hard. You
And
know?
and definitely nowadays, like, you have social media right here. Just use it. Use it. It's the biggest tool right now. Like,
100%.
you can literally make a living from this phone. And it's crazy.
Exactly.
And-
And don't be a dickhead to younger riders.
Oh,
No.
of course.
Don't be that
a-
cool guy with those sunglasses at the skate park not saying what's up.
And
Fuck
all
off.
and all this shit you're saying
Exactly.
transposes directly into fashion.
It is
music,
transposed into a lot of
yeah,
different
it's like-
Anything. You never know what could come.
No,
Just
but what I'm saying
and
is all these
make connections if you can organically.
yeah, all these things in any field, any industry are all necessary in order for success. You have to meet people. You have to be original, organic.
Original. And if you see something that you want to do and you're not really worried about, you know, rubbing somebody the wrong way, even if you are, if you really want to do it, then fuck
Send
it,
it.
do it. There's no one that can tell you can't do that. So they
And
can
my-
say this and that, but you know they can't physically stop you from doing.
And
something.
all I
So
have to say to the music kid that's coming up, trying to get somewhere in music, just don't sign any fucking paperwork. That's it. Try and get some SoundCloud reposts. Work with people who are bigger than you. Don't sign any fucking paperwork. Same goes
just
for BMX.
network.
Yeah, don't sign. And another thing is, if you're coming up and you're good, don't let people take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? Know your worth and don't sign shit. If it's BMX, whatever you're in, if you're a rider and someone wants to put you on some crazy
Get a
contract,
fucking agent.
you need an agent for riding. You have
For
an
anything.
Do you have an agent?
No, I'm trying to get one though. Anybody watching?
Hey, hit up Augie, see if you can get his talent.
No, that's
his
different.
talent agent.
Hey, but cheers to this one. This is the first podcast, right? I'm
Hey,
fully out. We need
For real,
another
yeah,
one.
I'm out
Yeah, go
too.
grab another one.
Yeah,
for
do
the
we have
boys.
enough for the? Do we have enough?
I mean,
how many more? I'll go check right now.
I think the refrigerator is super dry.
Doing it live. Keep it rolling while I'm gone.
Doing it live. All right, yeah, guys. If you guys have any suggestions for episode number 3, please leave them in the comments.
2 beers left. If you guys want to hear us talk about any subjects and any ideas or anything, just
Any suggestions for the podcast
hit us
as
up.
far as soundboard?
this is a good way for you guys to
topics.
get in touch with these guys. I see a bunch of kids. Okay, easy. A bunch of you kids are in these comments on these guys' videos not getting a response because there's literally 50,000 fucking comments and shit. It's a million. You know what I'm saying? This is a good way for you guys to get in touch with these guys. And you guys could ask them about personal things about their life. Because these guys aren't, I mean, you're on their vlog popping all types of shit. But I'm saying they might not know as much about, I'm saying about your personal life. Like, you know, well, actually, you know what? No. Someone could ask something on here that you'll answer. You probably wouldn't speak about in a vlog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be going through these comments, reading them, and
Yeah, every single one of them's going to get read.
I
and
don't want to
taken
see no
into-
dry comments. I want to see this.
somebody asked me.
Wet. Can't go
People
back
ask me
down.
all the time how do you get sponsored? Or, like, can I
Yeah,
get hooked
exactly.
Up by
Well, I
So-
think
so-
we
can you
covered
get hooked
that.
up from FTL? You know, it's just like I get that all the time. Like, can you send me clothes for FTL? And
The
it's,
worst thing though is
give me a
can you
free
friend? Can you send? Can you
you friend
send
me?
free stuff? I feel like
Yeah.
So many kids. Don't
At-
do that. Don't do that.
nothing's
Nothing
free.
in life is free. Okay.
Nothing.
And that's the thing with a lot of young BMX kids, and it's just kids in general. Younger people, they expect everything for free, and that's not how shit works.
Well, that's also because everything in their life up to that point has been free. You have to take that into consideration.
Well, I'll tell you
That's
one
true.
thing: that international shipping, it ain't fucking free. That
Neither is-
shit's like $100.
Neither is this
You get it for
podcast
free.
equipment, motherfucker. This shit bread. I didn't pay for it, though.
All right, we signing off. How do we sign off?
We do one of these.
Hey, I was a little nervous going into this, but this podcast
hold
went
on.
pretty well.
But this was at FTL podcast. What is it?
Episode two.
Episode 2. Where's my fucking beer? Oh, it's in my
Follow the
place.
boys, XXP James,
Yeah.
Anthony Panza, Billy Perry 61, FTL BMX.
Like, subscribe,
Comment.
do
Let us
all-
know what you think.
Do all that shit.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Doing it live, baby. It's a wrap.